Well everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the iPhone 16 Pro and compare it against the iPhone 12 Pro Max and see which particular iPhone is the better one for you. Now, the very first thing I would definitely tell you is that between both these types of phones, the iPhone 16 Pro in almost every single way is going to be the far better device than the iPhone 12 Pro Max. The 12 Pro Max was a, over $1,000 flagship when it first came out back in 2020, but genuinely as of this point, it doesn't make any sense to go and purchase a device like this. So please go through, don't buy a phone like the 12 Pro Max if the iPhone 16 Pro is on the table, but the iPhone 12 Pro Max is significantly cheaper than the iPhone 16 Pro. So maybe you would want to go and kind of buy a phone like that because it is so much cheaper than the iPhone, 16 Pro. So we'll take a look at both of them throughout this whole entire video. But if you do want to pick up these phones for the cheapest prices I find on Amazon, links will be down in the description. You can get them from there and you can help support the channel at the exact same time. Now, starting off with the outside of both these devices, the iPhone 12 Pro Max, which came out back in 2020, on the front side of this phone, it's giving you a 6.7-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display. And overall, it's a pretty good looking panel. Right? I like this panel a lot. It looks pretty good. It looks pretty sharp. And I definitely do think if you're going to go through and pick up a phone, this is a very good option, right? It's a very, very good phone. It's not necessarily like perfect, but I do think it's a really good phone, probably for like the average person out there. With this type of phone, it's, you're getting the notch up top. You're getting a 60 hertz panel. There's not really anything super insane or like super noteworthy on this phone. It's just a big size panel, which for a lot of people, you might be a big fan of. So keep that in mind. On the iPhone 16 Pro, on the other hand, you're getting a different type of panel. So this thing is a 6.3-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display. This one is giving you ProMotion, which is really nice, and it's giving you an always-on display as well. So these types of panels are really nice, and I think that's a really, really good thing. This is probably the better panel here for sure. It gets brighter, higher refresh rate. You're getting the dynamic island, so like less bezel. Definitely, if you're talking about which panel is better, it's definitely going to be something like the iPhone 16 Pro over the iPhone 12 Pro Max in almost every single way you can imagine. So from that side, and that kind of covers it up there too. Now on top of that, another very big thing to keep in mind here too is the fact that between both, both like are giving you flat sides, which is really nice. I really do like having that type of capability. You're getting the reflective side on the iPhone 12 Pro Max, which is a really, really nice thing. The 16 Pro is basically giving you the standard like non-reflective back, so keep that in mind. You're getting a USB Type-C port on the bottom of the iPhone 16 Pro. With the iPhone 12 Pro Max, you're getting a Lightning port. So this is something that's a really, really big, because being able to go ahead and get a Lightning port is a super cool thing to have, and I genuinely do like having that type of capability inside of my iPhone 12 Pro Max, inside of my iPhone 16 Pro. Now the iPhone 16 Pro is also giving you that action button and a camera button as well. So that is another really cool thing going on for that phone as well. And I like having that type of capability, but the iPhone 12 Pro Max basically isn't really giving you that type of capability when it comes down to it. Now on top of that, on the backside, you're getting frosted glass backs on both. So that is something else that's really, really nice. As always, I love having frosted glass backs, and that's a really cool thing. You're getting triple camera setups on the backside. So that is something that's really nice. Wide ultra-wide telephoto lens with a LiDAR sensor on both. You're getting MagSafe capability on the backside. So that is a really, really nice thing. But wireless charging on both, which is a really nice thing too. And overall, you're getting a really good quality phone on both. It just so happens that the iPhone 16 Pro kind of is the better one in almost every single way. So if you're going to go through and pick up a phone, that is the better one. I'd probably imagine the everyday average person of going through and picking up over something like the iPhone 12 Pro Max. So from that side, that kind of covers it up there as well. Now on top of that, another very big thing to keep in mind here too is the fact that between both, from a camera perspective, this is something else that's very interesting. So you're getting triple camera setups on both, but they're very, very different. The iPhone 12 Pro Max giving you that wide ultra-wide telephoto lens, all those cameras are pretty much 12 megapixels. With the iPhone 16 Pro, it's giving you a 48 megapixel fusion lens with a 48 megapixel ultra-wide and the telephoto lens as well. So from this side, if you're going to go through and pick up a phone, you are probably going to be getting a significantly better type of phone on something like the iPhone 16 Pro camera than the iPhone 12 Pro Max. You're able to zoom in basically twice as much on the iPhone 16 Pro. You're able to get 4K at 120 frames per second on the back of the 16 Pro. And I mean, definitely that camera is going to be better. I've always felt like with the 12 Pro's camera, the 12 Pro Max's camera, it was a good camera. Like, don't get me wrong, it was pretty solid. But there was an issue, not really an issue, it was like something where I wasn't the biggest fan of with the iPhone 12 Pro Max, because I didn't really feel like it was that big of an improvement from the 11 Pro Max. and the 13s were significantly better cameras. So I look at that particular lens, and I definitely do feel like in a lot of ways, Apple could have done a little bit of a better job with the iPhone 12 Pro Max, but that's kind of where we're at as of this point. So from that side and from everything there, that kind of covers it up there as well. Now beyond that, another very big thing to keep in mind here too is the fact that between both phones, they're both going to be supported with software for a long period of time. So both these devices are still going to be here for, many years. You don't really have that much to complain about here for the most part. And I genuinely do feel like both these phones hold up very, very well from that particular side. So whatever phone you're going to be picking up, I definitely do feel like both these devices hold up really well. But the iPhone 16 Pro by far in every single way is going to be the better performing device here in almost every way you can imagine. So I do think this in and of itself is another very, very big and large thing to keep in mind. Because if you're going to go through and pick up a phone, I genuinely do feel like a phone like the iPhone 12 Pro Max is still good from a software perspective, but the iPhone 16 Pro is definitely going to be the better one probably for the everyday average person. In terms of like the battery life too, the iPhone 12 Pro Max is giving you 20 hours of video playback, which is a really nice thing to have. But the iPhone 16 Pro is giving you 27 hours of video playback. This is by far a really big difference here, because if you're going to go through and pick up a phone, once again, having a phone like the iPhone 16 Pro that's going to be giving you the better type of battery life is going to be a very nice thing to have. And personally for me, this in and of itself is another very big asset for something like the iPhone 16 Pro. Now, on top of those things, another very big thing going on here too is that with the iPhone 12 Pro Max, with the performance side, you're getting the Apple A14 chip inside of it with basically 6 gigabytes of RAM inside of that phone, which was kind of surprising. Whereas on the iPhone 16 Pro, you're basically getting the Apple A18 Pro chip inside with 8 gigabytes of RAM. So these are some pretty big things to keep in mind here, because if you're going to get a phone, you're probably wanting a phone that's going to be giving you the better overall capability. And the iPhone 16 Pro is definitely going to be the faster phone, and it's going to be the overall better phone in almost every single way you can imagine. Now, I definitely do like having a phone like an iPhone 12 Pro Max. I think that phone still does a decent job for a lot of stuff you'd probably end up throwing at it. But here's the thing, if you're going to go through and pick up a phone, you're probably wanting a phone that's going to be giving you better capability from a performance perspective, and that is going to be the iPhone 16 Pro in almost every single way you can imagine. So what I can definitely tell you, and to kind of sum up this whole entire video, I definitely look at a phone like the iPhone 16 Pro, and I genuinely do think this is the better phone that you can probably buy, and it's not even really that close. I do think a phone like the iPhone 12 Pro Max still has some capability here and there. It's still a really good phone probably for a lot of people, but I probably would say that if you have the money, I wouldn't really go for something like the iPhone 12 Pro Max anymore, even though it was a former $1099 phone. It just doesn't really make a lot of sense to go and buy a device like that, just because you're going to already kind of be outdated by the time you go and pick it up. So from that side, that kind of covers it up there for the most part. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.